everyone, and welcome to blog 17 of the Tackle the Feelings Before the Behavior parenting approach. And today's blog is going to be talking about the importance of emotional regulation in early childhood. So if you've been watching my videos, you will be well aware that I'm trying to teach you how to regulate your kids' emotions. And you may have read a bit of my written work on this. But what I want to explain to you clearly is just focusing on what emotional regulation is and what I mean by regulating your kids' emotions and why this is so important and why I've dedicated this whole parenting approach to it, because I feel this is a really fundamental part of parenting. This is what's going to make your children really thrive if done correctly, if you can get these needs met. And that's what it's all about. Regulating or managing your children's emotions is inherently meeting your children's emotional needs. And we all have emotional needs. And this ties into childhood emotional neglect. And this might ruffle a few feathers, say that most people have an element of this. Because things like emotional regulation and attachment and that bond between the primary caregiver, the parent, and the child weren't really known back in the day. They started coming up with this. John Bowlby and his attachment theory has been going on for a while, realizing how important that early bonding with the parent is. So as this research grows, we know how important it is. Most of you know that there's a lot going on about how important it is to breastfeed, or how important physical touch is for children, and how important it is to give your children your time and to spend quality time with kids, to teach them, to educate them, not to have that children should be seen and not heard mentality, all of that. So we've been growing, and most of you regulate your children's emotions without even knowing that you're doing it. So I'm sure you'll look at my things and say, oh, phew, I do that. So that's what I'm hoping most of you will just realize. But what I want you to be is more mindful about that. More mindful about what you're doing, what you're doing with emotional regulation, understanding emotions for yourself, because chances are some of them might be a bit like, oh, well, I know what it is, but what do you mean regulate this? What do you mean regulate shame? What do you mean? What is shame? Is that embarrassment? Is that guilt? So it's about really nutting out for yourself what those different emotions are and teaching your children about the full range of emotions. So it comes in teaching them, in normalising, which is making them okay, and validating them. So when you validate it, you show acceptance for their feelings, for their emotional states, how they feel, and loving them and showing them that unconditional love through whatever experiences they have. And as they're little, you need to provide that comfort and that support through these emotional times and actually guide them into how to manage these extreme emotions and how to behave. So behavior is secondary. So tackle the feelings before the behavior. Working on the feelings is first and foremost. Then the behavior follows. Once they understand the feeling, once they understand what they're going through, usually it's like a domino effect and the behaviors will improve. But once you're teaching, say, fear, you can teach them how to manage that fear, how to behave when they're frightened, how to keep themselves safe, or how to soothe themselves, or how to get soothed from you, how to communicate that, how to get those needs met either through other people or themselves. So emotional regulation is about teaching emotions, making emotions okay, making everything that they feel okay, validating it, accepting them through whatever they feel and who they are as people underneath it all, and then teaching them how to behave accordingly after they understand what is going on for them. And these are life skills that will set them up for life, and you'll watch your child thrive. Most of the time when I've been supporting parents and there's an issue, say the child's scared to sleep in their own bed, or they're acting out and they're being really mean to their sibling, or something's going on, and I say, right, what is the emotion behind that? And it's sometimes quite difficult, especially when it's acting out. but perhaps it's fear. Maybe they're insecure, because fear has a lot of different emotions associated with it, such as insecurity, feeling unsafe, feeling unguided, feeling just like they don't know where they are in the world, lost, and all that stuff is fear. So you teach them about fear, and you learn what is needed in fear, such as comforting the child, reassurance, containing, creating that safety. How do you do that? All of that stuff. You attend to the fear, you make the fear okay. You make it okay that they're feeling scared, not telling them they have nothing to be scared about, because they're still feeling that. And you attend to that, and you'll find that they'll grow in confidence. And other situations where they feel frightened or scared, they'll take those skills and that lesson that you've taught them in that one particular situation, and they'll keep applying it. And you'll watch as they grow in confidence because you've tended to the fear. So that's the kind of thing that I'm going to be teaching you how to do in this approach as we go along. If you watch my videos, this is the 17th video. Lots of different things. I'm taking lots of different angles. But emotional regulation is about those emotions. You have 6 core emotions, which is sadness, joy, anger, fear, shame, and disgust. And those 6 emotions have lots of different associated emotions. So I've already discussed a bit of fear. You get anger, so irritation, frustration, exasperation, rage, hatred, all of that type of thing. You get shame, humiliation, powerlessness, hopelessness, embarrassment, all of that type of thing. If you get sadness, you get pain, hurt, feeling upset, feeling really tender, shaky. You get lots of different words. And then also knowing that each emotion has a bodily reaction. You feel it in your body. So when you're sad and you're crying, or maybe you're crying when you're frightened, or your heart starts beating, or when you're angry, you're clenching your fists, or when you're ashamed, you're averting your eyes, you're looking down, you're hunched over. All of those things, sadness, depression, so fear, anxiety, and the emotions that aren't attended to can spiral into different mental health issues later on. So, like I've just said, anxiety and depression, if you don't attend to fear, or you don't attend to that worry that children feel, that stress, it can turn into disorders later on. So it's really about doing that early work as much as you can, especially in those earlier years. If your child's older, you can still do this. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be heard. And often people are misunderstood because of the behaviors. And we develop these behaviors often as coping mechanisms. Because if they haven't been attended to, these emotions haven't been attended to in our earlier years, then we've had to develop strategies to attend to them ourselves. And we build up walls, and we build up defenses, and we build behaviors that are all trying to get our needs met. Believe it or not, the kid who's bullying in the playground is actually screaming for attention, is screaming to regain power because they're feeling out of control and a sense of powerlessness. Those kids that are acting out at home and breaking things and being destructive, they're feeling insecure. They're trying to get attention. You call it attention seeking. You're absolutely right. They're needing attention from you because they're feeling scared. They're feeling like they're unguided. So when they're withdrawing, maybe when they're really, really shy, is that fear? Is that sadness? What is the emotion? And getting your children to be able to communicate that with you. So giving them away. In my second blog, I talk about the emotion booklet and getting kids to with an outline of a human head and getting them to draw the expression, choosing the color, cutting and sticking pictures that represent that emotion. Where do you feel it in your body? Really coming at it from all the different sensory angles so that they understand what fear is in the body, in the world, to them, to you, that everybody's different and whatever they feel is okay. So really giving them a sense of confidence in terms of trusting their own emotions, trusting themselves, trusting who they are as people so that they can develop that self-esteem, that confidence in the world, and they can develop those skills in a healthy, productive way to cope with whatever life throws at them. So emotional regulation is about teaching those emotions, normalizing those emotions, and validating your kids for feeling those emotions. That's what it is. It's just about really building a healthy relationship with all the emotions and respecting and feeling whatever you need to feel. And that includes your emotions. You can't think that you are some robot and you've got to be a certain way and you should be this and you should be that. It's about being true to yourself and teaching your children to do the same, modeling that to them. Learn about your own emotions. Learn what emotion work you need to do. So if there are any questions about this, please get hold of me. This is such an important thing for you to understand. If nothing else in my approach and you don't want to listen to anything else, learn what emotional regulation is. Bring emotions into your home. You'll thank me for it in the long run, I promise you. And it'll increase your relationship with your child and their relationship with everyone else in the world. There's just no downside. So I hope that's been helpful. Have a great week ahead. Bye.